Hey there, Danielle Matthews here. I'm coming to you live from Florida, and today is Monday. It is Book Club Day. If you are new to my content, I help people on a healing journey. I guide them through, and every single Monday we do book club. Now, I say every single, but the last couple of Mondays I have been gone. I was traveling. I was out in Colorado, and just time zone, time with family. I wasn't able to be live with you guys the last couple of weeks. So if you're joining me live, let me know when you arrive. And we're actually on The Game of Life and How to Play It. That's the book that we're reading. It was just a short, fun book for this summer. The chapters are short, they're sweet, great examples, great affirmations that's in here. I absolutely have been enjoying it. Hi, Charlotte. Good to see you. And I think many of you have. Many of you read ahead because I was a little delayed the last couple of weeks. So we're going to dive right in. I absolutely love this concept. If you have taken Inner Management Mastery with me, we talk a lot about karma and actually understanding it because most people get it wrong. So if you're on here live with me, or if you're catching the replay, when you think of the word karma, what do you think of? I am very curious to hear. When you hear karma, what comes to mind? I ask this of all sorts of people all the time, and I hear things like, oh, what goes around comes around. Oh, like you got what you deserved. Oh, you did bad, so bad things happen to you, right? It's karma, right? It'll get you. That's kind of the tendency, and I think it typically, hey Tina, it typically has like a negative connotation, I would say, most people, excuse me, that I speak to about karma. And she kind of gets into it in this chapter, and I'm going to go a little deeper with it because I think she only sort of brushed the surface of the power of karma, but we'll go here, and then I'm going to just expound like I always do on things that I think will help you, right? Because I'm always wanting to support you on your spiritual journey, on your healing journey, on just your growth journey through life, so you can have an easier go of it here. All right, so she kicks off by saying, man receives only that which he gives. We're on, what page am I on? I'm on page 45. That's where we're starting. Law of karma and forgiveness. The game of life is a game of boomerangs, right? Man's thoughts, deeds, and words will return to him sooner or later with astounding accuracy. Have any of you ever noticed this? What you sow, you shall reap, right? Just put a one in the chat if you're like, yeah, this has happened in my life. I know when I do good, good comes back. I know when I do bad, bad can come back. I felt it on some level. Has anyone felt that? That's kind of the concept as she talks about it. She claims that the law of karma, it is in Sanskrit, karma means comeback, right? Whatever you sow, you shall reap. Okay? And there are some obvious examples she used here. And she was talking about a friend of hers that lived with her aunt, and she said, I receive all my karma through my aunt. However I treat my aunt is how people treat me. And I thought that was really interesting. I don't know if any of you have something that's that clear of a dynamic in your life, but it was kind of illustrated. The point was illustrated here where she kind of was super irritated with her aunt and sort of yelled at her aunt one night over dinner and basically said, no more talking. I wish to eat in peace. And sure enough, the following day, like her karma came back to her that quick. The following day, she's out to dinner with a woman she wanted to make a good impression with. And she's just, going on. And the woman just snaps at her, and basically says verbatim the same exact thing. No more talk. I wish to eat in peace. And she just started laughing, right? Because she had this awareness like, wow, what I gave, I got. And so it really makes you understand that, look, the power is within you always. And she talks about, and I hadn't quite played with this concept too much, but it makes sense that the higher your level of conscious awareness, so all of you are more consciously aware, right? Because we're reading these books, we're having these conversations, you're applying it to your life, the quicker the return becomes. All right, so the time between what you do and what comes back, that boomerang flings back faster. So just be aware, be really aware of it, what you're sowing, because you're going to reap it pretty fast. And contemplate this for a moment. She says, for man can only be what he sees himself to be and only attain what he sees himself attaining. Check your internet connection. Your live stream is experiencing connection issues. Of course it is. Guys, I am telling you, my internet, I'm right next to it. You can tell I've moved. I'm next to it and it's being fussy. So I might end up having to turn off one. I might have to turn off Instagram to just be on Facebook. So if you're seeing me on Instagram, you have to join me on Facebook. But let's just see. Those of you on Facebook, are you still with me? Can you like high five me, put a 5 in the chat? Karen, it's working for you. Oh, maybe we just stream on Instagram then, if it's working there. It's not just you. Charlotte, I don't know if that was in reference to something else I said or if you were letting me know that it's not just my internet. Anyway, well, we'll carry on. Facebook, you let me know if it's not happening and we'll move over. Okay, you're with me. They're just delayed. So Karen, I think you're with me and they're like minutes behind me. But we're going to work with it how we can. So, all right. I liked this concept where she's basically saying what you see of yourself is what you'll obtain. Like there is this version of you that exists, the highest version of yourself. It's there, like it's waiting for you. I kind of view it as like it's waiting for us to step into. Like it's just hanging out right here. But we have all of this chatter in our minds, all of this BS that we tell ourselves, all of our past, our memories, our trauma, or all the junk that we're all trying to heal from. And it's keeping us, it's kind of clouding us from being that version of ourselves. But the truth of karma is, well, you'll get what you put out. So if you put yourself into that space, that highest version of you, and you operate from this space, the world is going to start to respond to you from that space. Does that make sense? So it's pretty remarkable how fast that happens. You know, they have this concept, be, do, have. You have to be it first, right? You have to step into it first. I think it's the same essence of like fake it till you make it is like what they were going for there. Like it's in your mind first that it has to be. Then you'll start doing certain things and then you'll have certain things. And in the law of karma, it's like, well, what you're putting out, you're going to get back. So if I put out this version of myself, I'm going to get back things with that version of myself, right? If I put out a lack mentality, if I put out fear, if I put out, oh, I'm uncertain, that's what I'm going to get. You know, I was just talking with a associate that I work with in one of my businesses, and I was reflecting. I said, your business is ready to rock and roll. Like it's sitting here on the precipice, and like it just requires just an ounce of your effort, and the thing's going to start rolling. Like the ball's ready to roll downhill. I said, but you're not putting in the ounce of effort. You're sitting here confused, contemplating, overthinking, doubting yourself. I said, and so that's what you're getting. You're getting confusion, you're getting doubt, like the thing's not rolling. Like you've put up the roadblock. Does that make sense? And I said, just take down the roadblock. The roadblock's you. Like, stop thinking it. And it's going to flow. Yeah, Tina says, I've been cautious with what I've been saying and thinking. Yeah. You should be. We should all be super aware. Sometimes I have a thought and I'm like, cancel that thought. You know, I just like, whoop, where'd that come from? That's not what I want. You know, just get it out of here. The law of karma, you know, it's like the law of gravity. She references the law of electricity. It has to be obeyed before it can be your servant, right? Like right now I'm using, you know, a lot of electricity. If I were to use it in the wrong way, it could kill me. You know, like it could I could get electrocuted. Same with the law of karma. Like if you're not using it properly, it's probably you're creating like a negative spiral in your life. And you're like, how the hell do I get out of here? And it's exhausting. All right, so that's in the context that she's talking about it here. I'm going to blow your minds in a little bit with another layer of karma to look at. But infinite intelligence gives me the right house, equally as charming as this, the house which is mine by divine right. I highlighted a couple of places. I don't know if you all have. She has these great words, and I was just talking with, who was I talking with? Maybe it was Dolly. She has like cards that the game of life and how to play it. She said she has like a deck of cards. She didn't even realize it until, you know, we started reading the book that she had this for years. And it's the affirmations. It's these quotes throughout it. And I saw that and I really liked it because it's like, well, how do you like set the intention for what you want to bring in? So I'm stepping into the highest version of myself. What I'm sowing, I'm going to reap. Well, what do I sow? I sow thoughts like infinite intelligence, source, God, the divine, like whatever your word is. Give me the right house. Say you're looking for a house. Equally as charming as this, the house which is mine by divine right. Bring to me that which is mine by divine right. Like what a powerful statement to make. I highlighted that because I just thought, okay, anything that you're needing, if it's business, if it's in a relationship, if it's just your own self-awareness, bring to me that which is mine through divine right. Bring me that relationship, that house, that XYZ thing. Just ask, put it out there, sow it into the ground, right? Plant the seed. All right, anything forced into manifestation through personal will is always ill-got and has ever bad success. So you can't always force things, right? If you try to force, sometimes it falls apart. Not sometimes, like every time. If you're not flowing with what is best for you in divinely right, like she shares the example of this person that like coveted a house and ended up getting the house, but only at the cost of the person that's living there's life, and shortly after she lost the life of her husband. And it was like a very extreme example. But she was saying like, look, it's ill-got. That's what she means by ill-got, meaning if you're forcing it, it's not going to flow as beautifully. If something happens divinely, like it's just a divine flow, it just falls into place. It's effortless. And that's what we're, looking for. Man always gets just what he deserves when he does relinquish personal will, thereby enabling infinite intelligence to work through him. All right. We sometimes have our view of how things are supposed to be, and we're seeing it this way, and we're just hammering out, trying to get it to happen this way. And infinite intelligence sees just so much. And the breadth of things, Bodhi just got excited when I did that. He's over here. The breadth of different ways that the web of life can come together to bring you what you need, it will happen in a way that you could never imagine. Okay, I've seen this in my own business so many times where it's like, I don't even know how I got connected to these people, but just, it beautifully connected us. That's what we're talking about here, but you got to get out of the way and you got to trust. It requires faith, and most of us fold into fear. We don't see it. It's not happening fast enough. When you plant, we just planted a garden, we're attempting to garden. We planted the seeds 5 days ago. If I go out there now, nothing's happening, right? From my eyes. It looks like nothing's happening, but underneath in the soil, right, that seed is trying to figure out, do I have the right nutrients? Can I send out a little shoot? Can I put some roots down? Okay, now can I start growing up towards the sun? Is it the right sunlight? Is there enough moisture? It's figuring that out right now. So it's taking time because there's the law of gestation, right? Things don't just pop into existence. It takes time to grow these things. So she said that the hardest thing for most people on this planet is to stand still. It is to wait. It is to have the faith that it's all going to happen in exact right time. And most of us just try to maneuver it and force it and control it and make things happen. It's if within your being, just set the intent and let go. That's where it grows. It grows inside of you. It's I don't know how else to say it other than it's like the womb. Your mind is it creates, and then out comes what you're desiring in the external world. It's remarkable. And if you've experienced this and you want to share in the chat something that you've manifested and just how it unfolded so beautifully, please do. If you're still learning to navigate this, just share any questions you have. But many people are in ignorance of the fact that they have this power. And it's interesting because a lot of people say money, money, I had to learn this, money is energy. It's meant to flow. And unfortunately, a lot of people have a lack mentality where they think there's not enough, or there's not going to be enough, or they've been in situations before in life where there was insecurity. And so they've kept that energy. And so, we talked about oscillating, what you sow, you reap. If you have the energy of lack, or there won't be enough, or I'm just going to be hanging on by my fingertips. I had a good friend again in business, and she always said every single month I'm just, hanging in by the edge. But every single month I watched the money come in right at the edge, and she hung in there. And I'm like, why don't you word that differently? Why don't you say, oh, I'm so grateful. It always just floods in. It always floods in exactly when I need it. And I always have more than I need, right? I'm comfortable and have a little bit more than I need. And I bet you it would shift. So just look at your words and look at what you're creating, and always look at the results that are manifesting right now in your life. However life is unfolding right now, that is a reflection of something inside of you. Some seed you planted before of a way that you thought. Yeah, the Great Depression marked many DNA with lack. Yeah, it moves through generations. It really does. I've watched it in my own family. Like, oh, why are my parents that way? Oh, well, because of their grandparents. Well, why are my grandparents that way? Oh, because of my great-grandparents. And because of what they lived through. Yeah, super interesting. Super interesting. So you can just say stop to all of that and then create anew, right? I mean, that's the power that we have that most of us don't realize we're sitting with. You know, it's like you had the power all along, right? Dorothy, just tap your slippers. Like, you had the power all along. Like, it's there. Time to release it. Exactly, Lou. If man ignores these leadings to spend or to give, this was talking about with, I wanted to highlight this. I'm on page 51. She's talking about how, like, if you hold on to investments, if you're like a squirrel and you just tuck away all your money, it's going to be taken from you. Like, it's because of the lack mentality. So something's going to happen that's going to just deplete those funds. Versus if you allow a flow, you let go, more comes in. You let go, more comes in. I've seen it in my own business. Like, I've made, thousands of dollars of investments into different programs and things. And, it stretched me when I did it. But I always remembered, okay, if I let go, more is going to come. And every single time, to a T, when I have invested in something, I've made the money back and then some within like a month. I mean, it's remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. So she was just sharing how, someone was out with their nephew and the nephew wanted a toy. And she was like, oh, I don't have the money. I can't buy the toy. And then she stopped herself and went, well, I'm just inviting lack into my life. Like, if that's my mentality, I'm going to get the toy for my nephew. She gets the toy on the way home from the shop, finds the money needed on the ground. Exact change for what she just spent on the toy. Like, that's, again, how quick it can work. But you got to be open. You got to catch yourself, and switch. So you just have to have faith. Page 53, I thought this was a really good on, like, well, how do you have faith? Because I think this is where, like, most everybody falls down. Man's supply is inexhaustible and unfailing when fully trusted, but faith or trust must precede the demonstration. According to your faith, be it unto you. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For faith holds the vision steady, and the adverse pictures are dissolved and dissipated, and in due season we shall reap if we faint not. You just literally have to continue to hold the picture in your mind. Any entrepreneur, like, I think it's the biography of the gentleman that started Nike. I mean, if you read what he went through to make that, you'd be like, holy cow. Like, how many times would you have fallen down? How many times would you have not continued to hold the picture? Like, you just have to keep holding the picture. Things are going to come and try and distract and whatever, and just let them fall away, let them fall away. No, that's not the reality I'm looking to create. I am very clear on the reality I'm looking to create. And if it's not that, it doesn't get your attention and it doesn't get your energy. Don't take the eye off the ball, right? So I want to pause here for a minute because, I love reading these different books and getting their perspectives, and this is an older book, and I have kind of a different way to look at karma that I want to share with you all. And this is really getting at how you are, like the cause and effect relationship of how you are is what creates the reality. And I boil it down in Inner Management Mastery to a very simple equation. External world plus your internal response equals your reality. So things happen in the external world, you internally respond to them, and now you've created a reality. And so for me, it's looking at what's my internal response, because you don't control the world and you can't control the world, but you can control how you interact with it, how you show up to it, how you respond to it. And so you can choose, right, to have faith. You can choose to stay at peace. You can choose to accept what's unfolding, or you can choose to resist. You can choose to get angry. You can choose whatever. That is going to dictate your experience of life. It's an inner decision. And most people are operating unconsciously and having internal responses all the time to life based on their own traumas and memories and whatever, and they're creating a hell of a time for themselves, like a miserable time. And you can shift that. Like, you can just take conscious control, start to perceive, start to watch, start to see what it is. And this is what I really dive into in Inner Management Mastery. Master your inner world. Whatever those blocks are, we start to get rid of them, right? We start to choose how we want to interact and react to life. It's just a total shift. So to me, that's really what karma is about. It's that inner way of being. And she's getting at it from a slightly different perspective, saying, well, how you inwardly think, you will manifest. And I would say there's even more to it, which is, how you inwardly react, show up, respond is also going to ripple out and create your life. Yeah, Charlotte says, I like that thought. Yeah, I think it's, I don't know, a much clearer way of explaining karma. And if you got any questions with it, I'm happy to go into it. But she partnered this chapter with the law of forgiveness. So we'll kind of end on the law of forgiveness that she's speaking about. But karma is key. And it's a cause and effect relationship. And the cause is internal. It's you. There's nothing in the external world. It's how you're being with what happened. It's how you are responding to what's happened. It's what you say about what somebody said to you that is really creating your reality. And that reality is the energy that you're oscillating in, which is going to attract in more of the same externally, right? And it's like, learn the lesson, learn the lesson, learn the lesson, learn the lesson. And if you're not learning the lesson, you're going to get it again and again and again and again and again and again. And you're going to, reap what you sow. And so you have to figure out, okay, well, how do I master my inner world, and how do I choose the way that I'm wanting to interact and be act? And you can do that. And I teach through meditation, through all sorts of different therapies, how to release things that are making you show up and respond in a certain way and actually become clear on how it is that you do want to. We work with direct and indirect karma, yen mastery. Yeah, I'm not sure I've never studied that before, but yes, there is direct and indirect. I would say I don't really worry about anything that's not within my control, right? The only thing that is how you interact and show up and be, and get that right, and the rest falls into place. I mean, it's like effortlessly. So, all right, guys, we're going to wrap up with the law of forgiveness. So the law of forgiveness transcends the law of karma. It's the law of grace. It is the law which frees man from the law of cause and effect, the law of consequence, under grace and not under law. So what it's getting at is being able to move beyond this reactionary and just accepting all as is, living in grace, trusting, and it all unfolding. This continued state of bliss awaits the man who has overcome the race or world thought. And this is, I think I get at this in a different way, but similar. Once you're able to master your inner world, you're no longer at mercy to the external, right? And so everything will always be good. Everything will always be peaceful. Everything will always be unfolding exactly as it's meant to when you choose to have that internal reaction. And now you're not at mercy to, right? You're no longer a victim of external circumstance. You've transcended it. Now you're just operating from grace. You're operating from this very different space. It's a big jump. Yeah, it's a big jump, but intellectually it's a small jump. Like you understand it, but in practice, it's a big jump because you forget these. I'm telling you, the stuff is pretty intrinsic within you that's causing you to react and show up in the way that you are. So, yeah, I think that's a lot to just sit with. And this week, I would just tell you, monitor your internal reactions. How are you showing up? How are you being? What seeds are you planting of, a life that's going to continue to bring in those things? And if you need support or help working on them, reach out. And I'd love to support if I can. So, all right, everyone. We will be back next week, so no more breaks. Casting the burden, impressing the subconscious. That is what's up next. This is page 55. I will put it in Telegram, and 55 to 63. So again, these are short and sweet. It's not even taking us 30 minutes to go through them, but they're impactful. All right. So understand the law of karma, master the law of karma. If you understand that, it can work for you. Okay. So if you want a life that's constantly bringing you, bliss and peace and, things that are going to unfold for your best good, that's how you need to interact. That's the vibration you'll be putting out. Hopefully it's making sense. Pull the weeds, right? Like in gardening, pull the ones that aren't working. Okay. All right. Well, lots of love, everybody. I will see you next week. Have a great rest of your week.